Okay, I'll go back over that then.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so for those that weren't able to see what we just discussed, I mentioned the WTC, IRA, Hermley, and Snyder tax rates. WTC's, their adopted rate is 0.265. It's higher than the 0.25 no new revenue. IRA's no new revenue is 0.10237. They adopted the voter approval rate of 0.13082. Hermley adopted the 9872 voter approval rate. The no new revenue rate was 0.6595. Snyder ISD was 0.7456. No new revenue. Voter approved, or the adopted rate was 0.9176. All of these went up on their tax rates, but the taxes went down for those. I mentioned my taxes went down $41, would go down $41 for Scurry County taxes, and all of my tax bill would go down $444. And keeping in mind that Scurry County taxes are 17% of your total tax bill. I also went over all four of the commissioners, and I'm not going to do that one again. So, but you can go to the Truth in Taxation website. It's like I said earlier, it's not completely true because they don't take into account the mineral valuations that went up. So I think one of them, I can't remember how much it said mine would go up, but it said my taxes would go up when in actuality they're going to go down. To get a true number, you have to go to the appraisal district or look at your tax bill from last year. See what you paid last year, compare that to what you'll pay this year, and you'll see the difference there, and I guarantee it's going to be down. So, yes, ma'am.
And I also said that the city of Snyder adopted the no new revenue rate.
You did say that, and I said that they raised their water rates. So,
And that's for everyone.
yes, ma'am. Everyone that pays a water bill.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, you have to take into account
Mhm.
that with the schools, they have now a cap not of 25,000 for homestead. It's now 40,000. So that may be the reason why they went up on their rates in order to level that off.
I don't know. I do know they have to go to TEA to get those
Yes.
rates approved. Michael, you're on the school board. Can you speak to that as to whether that affected, whether they're
It didn't affect our thinking and what we did. No.
okay? So, thank you. So we're in the public hearing, and anybody can speak to anything at all as far as the budget goes.
Can you explain how it's gonna go down if the tax rate's going up?
Mineral valuations went up 100%. And it's looking like it's going to be higher next year. Mineral valuations are going to be higher next year. At the beginning of the year, the value of minerals is set. It was $55 a barrel, set at $55 a barrel last year, I believe, and it was set at 70 to somewhere between 70 and 75 this year. And so those values went up that much, and that's where because we have so many minerals, we have 86,000 mineral owners in Scurry County compared to how many, I don't remember how many properties we have, but it's a very small portion compared to the mineral valuations. So that's why that goes down for everybody else, because the mineral values are so much higher.
How do you set the mineral values?
We don't set those. That is set by, who sets it? Is it
Thomas Pickett.
The T.Y. Pickett, I mean, they set the values on the leases and
Okay.
They've been doing it.
they're the mineral appraisers.
There's other people that could do it.
I knew they get the mineral valuations. They show us.
They don't actually set the price per barrel, no.
Right.
That's done through, I don't even remember what it's called.
Commodity
Yeah.
network,
an outside
Chicago.
Yeah.
It's a federal
federal, right?
West Texas Crew.
There you go.
Well,
Yeah,
There's 50 different
Right.
yeah,
types
there's,
of crews,
there's different
and
ones.
they're all set by the market. Depends on supply and demand, just like everything else. Energy Information Bureau or whatever is part of that in setting that rate for us at the first of the year.
So our tax rate for last year was what?
0.5361,
Or,
0.5361.
okay.
This year it'll be proposed is 0.4800. Did you have a question?
I was gonna speak.
Oh, absolutely.
Stand up, Maureen. Hi, my name is Maureen Morris. I am a taxpayer in Scurry County, and I just wanted to address the commissioners about the golf course. You always hear lots of rumors, small town. But anyway, the golf course is an asset to this county. I'm just telling you, we have a lot of people that play out there all the time, and they're not just all members. I am a member. I pay a yearly fee. I keep my golf cart out there, so I pay a fee for that. But we have a good group of ladies that play every week. We have lots of guys that play all the time. There's scrambles on Tuesday nights, Sundays. They're always full. I mean, it's fun. The school kids all play golf out there. That's a great asset to this county. And I think you should keep funding it. It's looking great right now. You spent all this money fixing the irrigation system, and now this rain, it just looks beautiful out there. I mean, and it's going to save water now that all that's fixed. All the leaks are fixed. It'll be a lot more savings there. It does bring in income for all the people that play out there all the time. They rent carts. I mean, they have tournaments. We're fixing to have a tournament next week. There's going to be close to 50 ladies coming here to play. They're all staying in a hotel. They're going to eat out every day. They're going to be here 4 days. They're buying gas to go home. I mean, and there's lots of tournaments that are out there. The guys all have tournaments all the time. It's just a good asset for this county, and I think you should keep it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, if I don't play golf there, why should I have to pay for it?
It was donated to Scurry County
I'm
years
Lynn
ago.
Does it make a
Burleson.
profit?
Go ahead.
I'm Luann Burleson, and I'm a taxpayer. And for truth, I guess, what you would call it, I am a senior citizen and my tax rate is frozen. But the increases in the oil values has helped everybody. I want to thank you guys for your willingness to serve, because it's hard. It's a hard job. I've been there. Your decisions have a lot to do. I got this written down and I'm not following it at all. Your decisions affect all the citizens in Scurry County. And I appreciate your willingness to take it, because you do almost every month. This is not about golf. It's not about golf. It's about quality of life. And no, not everybody plays golf. True. I don't use a swimming pool, but I want us to have a swimming pool. Not everybody uses the library. We need a library. Not everybody drives those paved roads out in the country, but by golly, I want those people to have paved roads. It's quality of life. And I think it's $300-something thousand. Is that right? In the
Yes, ma'am.
budget?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a drop in the bucket. It's about quality of life. It's not about golf. It's not about these 7 ladies. It's about a lot of people out there having a good time. And some of those guys told me, well, I'd like to be there, but I have to work. So it's not just us. It's a lot of people out there playing. And I appreciate your listening to me and considering the possibility of continuing the golf course. It's worth the money you're going to spend. I appreciate it. And I believe this is the 100-year anniversary of the golf course.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a legacy for this county, and it would be so sad to see it go. Thank you, and good luck.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to reiterate what Luann said in many ways. I'm Judy Moss. I pay taxes quite a bit of taxes. I pay school taxes. I don't have anyone in the schools, but I don't want them to close the schools. I don't want them to close the park because I don't go there, but usually on July 4th. So I don't really appreciate people penalizing me for going to the golf course instead of going to those places. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
I said I wouldn't get involved in this, but here I am. I just want to go back to what Lou Ann said. It is a quality of life, but I think a really important thing that would be good for y'all is, even if it's the chamber that does it, you need to look at the tax dollars that are created by certain things that you have in this county. And the golf course is one of them. Even if these oil companies are coming out of town, they need to do some things. They're bringing their golf clubs, but they're also going out to the Spanish Inn. They're going to the Butcher Block. They're staying in these hotels. And it's not about, I understand the budget, because I'll take anybody on in this room on a budget, because I do it every day. But there's certain things that you have to make it all work. And I wish the chamber would show the court, I wish they'd show everybody, if they're the ones that come up with these numbers on what the tax dollars do throughout our community. The golf course is one of them. And, you know, I get texts that they're gonna close the golf course down. They're gonna do this. The town that I was very involved in before I came back home, which I am a homeboy, by the way, the golf course was an issue there too. And they did some fact finding to find out exactly what's coming into that golf course and the money it's generating through the community. The people that have the stores on the square, everywhere, it does make an impact. And I think sometimes we need to get our tunnel vision and take it away and look at the whole picture. And it's really easily done. When you're sitting there doing it the whole time, you're looking at this, we're gonna cut this, we're gonna cut that. And I don't think it's about cutting. It goes back to what Lou Ann said again, it's quality of life, but it also reflects on our great city that I grew up in and our great county, and what we have to offer and who we are and the pride that we have here. And that's why I came home. I could have made $200,000-300,000 more a year by going somewhere else, but I didn't, because I wanted to come home to where I grew up. And I think you all need to look at that. You know, you're going to have naysayers and complainers every time y'all have a meeting about something. You know, but you need to get together and we're a community. And you know, I'll be honest with you. When I wrote that $50-something thousand check last October, the school was the biggest chunk of that check. So, I mean, I really think if everybody wants to start raising hell, they need to go to school and talk to them about those school taxes and not y'all, because it's ridiculous. And besides that, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. But I do respect every one of y'all up there, I really do. But I've got one more thing. I took the budget, since I do nothing after I get home from work, and I've been going through your county budget, and I've been looking at different departments. And I would make a request that your county jail, your law enforcement center is paid, the county's paying all the bills. The city's not paying anything. 95% of your arrests in this city are municipal arrests. You're paying the whole water bill for the whole year. Well, the city's there too. The city's using that, and y'all aren't getting any kind of revenue off that. And I think y'all need to address that with the city, and they need to start paying their share. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Thank you, Devin.
Guess it's a perfect segue for me. So, as far as the school taxes are concerned, we've got our own problems. So, and those are big. So I know how you guys are because I went through my first budget workshop and it was hell. So, but as far as the golf course is concerned, there's no way possible that this community can stand with just one course. Traffic is way too high. Golf course was closed for 2 or 3 months. WTC was just overloaded with players. So that's not going to work. I play golf. I agree with these ladies. Got to have 2 courses. Quality of life. Have to. Now, as far as the other rumors are concerned, I hear about a health unit possibly getting closed. That can't happen. You guys, there's too many kids that get shots that need that health clinic open. As far as being a restaurant owner is concerned, I'm not going to have the state come in and tell me what to do. I'll close before I do that. Because them people, they've never run a restaurant. They don't have a clue what they're doing. So, I mean, it's a tough job that you guys are doing. Going back to the golf course thing, everybody knows Pebble Beach. I was just there. $650 a round. That golf course loses money every single year. There's not a golf course in the world that makes money. Period. But what keeps those golf courses alive are hotels, restaurants, everything associated with that golf course. That's what keeps those golf courses alive. So you start closing courses, you get less traffic into the restaurants, the hotels, so on and so forth. Just keep it open. Find another way to cut budgets. You gotta help the people that need the help in the community. You have to. If you don't, what's the purpose of even having a community? So, good luck.
Thank you, Mike. Ms. Summers?
He just made a remark about finding another way to cut budgets. We had 3 commissioners that worked very hard to do what they thought was cutting the budgets.
I can't hear you, Ms. Summers. Could you speak up just a little bit?
Only to find out that the judge did not cut the money, he just stuck it in the reserve fund. So when you're talking about cutting the budgets, you've got 3 commissioners that actually want to cut the budgets, you can't say much else when you got 3 that want to. And then they don't, for whatever reason. So we've sat here for a couple of months. One meeting was almost 4 hours, another meeting was almost 3. And they worked hard, I thought, to cut the budget. But then they didn't. So let's not talk about cutting budgets because that hasn't been accomplished in years here.
When I stuck that back in there, we can't meet outside of this room. So I can't go to all 4 of these gentlemen and say, this is my plan. Since this didn't work, this is where we have to be. We have to come up with $600,000 in the next couple of years. So I want to move this money over there. The first opportunity that these gentlemen had to hear about that was when they saw the budget book and then came to this meeting 2 weeks ago. I explained to them what I was doing at that time. Nobody at that time said, I disagree with that. I want to cut that out of there. So I'm not a dictator. No matter how much people try to say that I am, I gave these gentlemen an opportunity to say yes or no to that. For both of those, $500,000 and $186,000. After that is when a lower tax rate was suggested. So,
Excuse me.
yes, sir.
So regarding the reserves, $500,000, correct? Is
Correct.
In the budget.
Emergency reserves. That's what it
Emergency
is.
reserve, I understand. Is there anything in that yet now?
There's $1.5 million right
Okay.
now.
So then that's pennies if something really happens.
Yes, sir.
So now with mineral up and this proposed rate of 0.48, it would give the county the opportunity to add $500,000 to the savings account, for lack of a better expression,
Yes, sir.
right? Which everybody presumably has a savings account or insurance.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And under this 0.48, that 500,000 would be there, but simultaneously, all of our taxes would go down.
Yes, sir.
So I'm confused. Why is that such a hard decision for anybody? My taxes are gonna go down. The county's gonna get $2.5 million.
Yes.
Am I missing something?
Brandon Williamson. Kind of to piggyback on several different comments here. Quality of life is essential. Tax rates are going to go down, mineral valuations are up. I think there's some wisdom in taking these capital expenditures that need to take place and doing it in a year. My question to you would be, eventually minerals will go down. What line items in the budget can we identify that will have a residual effect once that does happen? The one that comes to mind is I believe there were several personnel additions that were requested. What is the plan to fund those once valuations do go down? And something that was said by a taxpayer a few meetings ago was, have we looked at those opportunities of not adding those positions, but rather looking at departments that are overstaffed or maybe having some additional personnel that's just built into them where we could reorganize and reassign job duties. Ultimately, we're at a crossroads in society where remote work opportunities, there's after decades of people leaving rural communities to go to cities, we're at a spot where people are coming back to rural communities. We want those people to come to Scurry County, and quality of life, golf courses, youth centers, libraries, museums, those things are paramount to young professionals, young people bringing their families back to this county. You can't get rid of those. My only question would be, what residual effect will this budget addition have once those mineral valuations come down?
So let me address the personnel and the question of can they be moved to different departments? The ones that were approved are specialized. You can't move those to other positions. So like the bailiff, you have to have a peace officer certification to be able to do that, and additional certifications as a bailiff to do that. Same thing with the dispatcher and what else? Another deputy. Was there another deputy?
No.
Just the dispatcher and the bailiff. Were there any other?
It was the DA.
Yeah, the DAs, and for 2 years, that's gonna come out of the ARPA funds, the assistant DA. That's a very specialized position too. I mean, you have to have a law degree to be able to do that. So, yeah, we're gonna have to, those are gonna have to be added to the budget, yeah.
Okay.
Later down the road.
Thank you for addressing that.
Yes, sir. And Bill, I don't know the answer to that. Your question. Yes, sir.
Morning, my name's Austin Colley. Didn't have anything, I wouldn't bring anything to the table today, but I was just gonna point out that I look around here and I see tons of golfers. That for one means that everybody here is as passionate about the golf course. I don't know if I'm allowed to ask, is it in, like, propose that we close the golf course?
No.
Okay,
No, it's-
well, that, you know,
That
small
has never
town.
been brought up. I think where the confusion was the 500,000 that was put into it additional for the paving of the cart paths.
Gotcha.
That's where the confusion's at. We talked about shutting it down.
Okay.
So,
Well, very good. That kind of question I had, but just point out the fact, I mean, yesterday we went out to WTC, me and my son, had to wait 40 minutes to even get a card. So that tells me right there
You
that.
should come to Scurry County Golf.
Well, I mean, that tells you right there, like, and they were operating yesterday. So if we had one golf course, there's no way one WTC can support it all. Had that fact yesterday. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I want to ask a question. I've had some family members say, well, I don't play golf. And I said, I don't use the library, but I'm going to. I think because I can, because even though I don't live in Scurry County. But I don't have an airplane either. And I hadn't been to the museum once or twice in the last 10 years. But my question, and I forgot to ask Sean today, we sat down and had a good visit. Does the airport generate any money at all? Because I know the golf course can and does generate some kind of money. I mean, it can't do 368,000. Because, you know, I mean, even ones I play at in other places, I asked them what they did, and they get $50,000 a year budget to do cart path repair or installation of a new one. And that's better than 500,000. That's a bite. But 50 could be doable if you can get material donated like we can on some of it. But like, back to the airport, if I build a hangar out there, do I pay taxes to Scurry County on my hangar and my airplane? See, that generates some money. But that's about all it could generate, right? Unless you sell a lot of fuel.
You do sell a lot of fuel.
And, you know, I know Mitchell County sells a lot of fuel. So I hope they both generate money. As far as the library and the museum, that's a legacy deal that you want to keep. We ought to be proud of our museum, and our library is used by a lot of people, elderly people, like my mom, you know. But I just think, you know, you got to look at, it can't generate enough to break even, but does it help at all? Is there any way to improve that? And you know, there's things you could, Dan, what'd you say your taxes are going up or down this year?
$444.
How much was,
for Scurry County? It's $41.
well, $41 is about what you spend Saturday night at the Spanish Inn if you go out and eat. Well, think about it. You know, that's a rock in the bucket. And if you drive to Big Springs, so, you know, it's more than that. But I mean, that's $41 ain't gonna bother me a dang bit. You know, some people it might. You know, I could bear that if we go back up, raise you up $41 and help pay for the airport and the museum, the library, and the golf course. You know what I mean? Another thing, how much money was donated for that irrigation total?
125,000.
Around 130,000
130.
last year.
And
See,
that's-
nobody ever mentions that, but that didn't cost the county.
Right, that doesn't include the man hours donated and equipment hours that was donated.
See that? So we got to tell these people that there was a lot of donated money, time, and effort to help that thing. And I hate this. I wished it wasn't like that, and I wished I could do more than I did. But, you know, that's all I'm gonna say. You know, thank y'all.
Thank
I
you.
think y'all are doing a great job, and I'm glad I'm not one of you.
Yes, sir.
My name's Don DeVille. As I said, 2 weeks ago, my wife and I chose to come here. We've lived in several small towns, very small towns, smaller than this. We lived in several big towns. I used to play a lot of golf. I don't play any golf anymore. I may start back, I don't know. But something that everybody's failed to realize in here, how many business deals is made on the golf course? It's a lot of business deals made on the golf course. All right, tennis courts, fishing, whatever. But you go to, we lived in Del Rio, Texas. We've been in LaGrange, which is smaller than this. It's pretty country, just like this is pretty. You have to like what you like. But you go to these places and they have nice golf courses. They have paved cart paths because it saves on the greens, it saves on the fairways. And like Lou said, quality of life. There's more than just quality of life with this. There's more than just money with this. Like you talk about the hotel tax. How much tax does the county get off hotels? The food taxes and all that comes together. So, I've talked with a lot of people at golf course with their finances out there, and like he was saying, I don't think a lot of people understand the finances out there. If there was a PowerPoint presentation or something, or just lay it out in black and white in the newspaper of what money comes in, what's generated, how much the county actually spends out there, then you figure how much money the county actually spends at the library versus the money the library brings in along with the swimming pool and all that. I think a lot of people would be astonished that the history thing brings very little money in, the library brings very little money in, takes a lot of money going out. Where it may be close to a wash, it may be 50-50. I don't know, I haven't looked at the figures on the golf course. But it does bring people in this town that spends money. And that's about all I got to say about that. But without it, it's gonna hurt the county, it's gonna hurt the city.
Any other comment?
I just
Yes,
didn't know that there was such a thing that they're gonna close the golf course. And we're talking a lot about it, but y'all said there's nothing about it, so what's the big deal? And with the health unit, I've never heard that being closed either. I have heard some people say, well, my kids don't go play baseball out there in the park. Well, I'm sorry, but we do have a lot of people that come to those baseball games. They're used for tournaments. They're used for a lot of things. And it's not for, just a certain few. It's all children go out there and can play on the softball and the baseball course parks. And there's a lot of things that happen in this town, but I'm, for one, have oil royalties that's gone up double, a little over double actually. And I'm on a very fixed income because I'm a retired teacher. We get 0 COLA raises ever in our lifetime. Amen. We get 0 COLA raises ever. So any time that I can have a little break, all my oil check is probably $100 a month. Now it's going to go to paying the taxes on that oil check, $100 a month probably. I'm not sure, I haven't run the numbers, but I can assure you that's my play money. And I mean by play money, that's what I get to go buy a few crap things to keep me from going insane. And I can use that to buy some gas, or heavens, I haven't gone out to a restaurant in this town in a long time because price of gas, price of food, price of everything's going up. And it kills my little oil check, my fun money. I don't have a whole lot of money, and it hurts bad. That's the only reason why I asked for a lower tax rate overall in the county, is just for that, because I'm not the only one. I was here one day watching a lady, and I do not like to do this. I don't like to hear anybody's business, okay? I don't want them to hear my business. I don't like to hear their business. But I was there in the hallway waiting to pay my house taxes and my property taxes. And she was in front of me, and of course they can't, with that petition up, you can hear everything's going on in that hallway. Everybody hears your business. And this was during some voting times too. And I went up there to pay, and I heard the poor little lady say, well, honey, I'm trying to find out if I'm paying mine quarterly, but I'm really trying to find out if I've paid enough, because it's coming to a time where it's going to hurt. And I thought, oh my gosh, she must be paying $200 or $300 quarterly. She paid $152. That's 4 times a year. I felt so bad for her. I wanted to cry. I didn't know who she was. She left, and then I came up and did my business. Then I saw her at United, and it hurt my heart because she looks at a package of meat, and she looks at that meat and she sees the price on it. She sets it back down. And it hurt my heart to watch her go by and pick up a few little things, but she didn't pick up any more meat. And that was on the reduced section at United. And it wasn't a high quality cut. When I go to the reduced section, I'm looking for filet mignon, because my brother and I love that stuff. But she was looking at a package of pretty little hamburger meat. And if I hadn't had not much in my pocket at the time, cash, I would have gave her the money to go buy that darn hamburger meat, because that hurt my heart. And I'm not speaking just for me. I'm speaking for a lot of people I know that are not here. It hurts them. And when you say it's just a few dollars, well, a few dollars adds up and adds up and adds up. And when they're on a fixed income, they can't pay that. They just can't. And just think about those people. I mean, I'm talking about my little oil check. Last time was $102. That was my mad money for a month. Not much mad in that money, let me tell you. And I'm just saying, I've never heard anything about closures, about anything. I don't golf. I don't go play baseball. I have watched a baseball game out there. I don't go to the pool because I don't have kids and I'm not going to a pool. Let me tell you, I taught for 10 years in Andrews. I'm not going to go to a school either. That's out of it, man. I'm not doing that. But I'm just saying that we're wasting a lot of time on that when we should be talking about some of these people that are having a hard time. Some have lost their jobs or had to pick up a different job. Sometimes I'm wondering, I worked for the census for 2020. That was an eye opener there too. You should see a lot of these people and what they're doing. And that was back in 2020 when things were good. I can't even imagine how it is now. I saw people that lost their homes and were homeless with children in Abilene because they couldn't pay taxes or they couldn't pay the rent. And every time tax rates go up, guess what? Rent goes up. Everybody's rent goes up because landlord's not going to eat that. They're just not. They can't. So that's my passionate speech, and I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Eckert.
And so in regards to that, for these little ladies that don't have the money to buy hamburger meat, it's not widespread, but there are, because of people like we're here today, there are so many different avenues for those people to be able to afford their hamburger meat. Because there's WTO, West Texas Opportunities, and they will pay your utility bills. And if they pay your utility bills, then you can buy the hamburger meat. There is, there's welfare for somebody that's really destitute. There's churches here that give constantly to people that are in need.
Food covered.
There's food covered.
But however, she might not have known that, or some people,
That's
they're
why we
like
need
that,
to
are very
spread the
prideful.
news.
They're very prideful and they won't go there because their pride is too much.
There is,
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, there's help there, and lowering taxes by 17% isn't going to help those people get that hamburger meat.
Well, it might hurt because she might be a very prideful woman.
Well,
I was raised by one of those prideful ladies.
you get me her name, and
I
I'll be
don't know
glad to
You'd
buy
have
her
to ask her because
groceries
it was
for
the
her.
person right before I paid my taxes.
Because that's,
Miss Young.
it's too much help.
Okay,
Yeah, I
let's move
know.
on.
There's no way.
Are there any other public comment or questions or thoughts? I'm going to close the public hearing if there's not any more. Okay, I'm going to close the public hearing at 10:44. I appreciate all of the comments, all the questions and input, and I appreciate every one of you that are here.
Thank you.
All right, court to discuss and take possible vote to adopt the 2023 Scurry County budget after making any changes and take record vote. Are there any changes that you'd like to make to the 2023 budget?
They'll make it a 46-cent tax rate.
Okay, and where is that coming from? What cuts?
Because they don't want us to hear what they're saying.
You won't have the time.
Judge, it's very hard to hear if they would speak up.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Be proud of what you're doing.
but that's my only issue. Is I just think 3 cents is not much, but it's putting forth a little effort.
Okay, and like I said, if you want to bring it there, bring something to the table to take that, to show where to go there, how to get there.
I did last time.
No, so you brought a number and that was it.
I did.
You didn't bring anything, a way to get there.
My point is, we voted on it last time. I'm still standing, sir. Okay, I just want everybody to know. It's
When they go down.
just, they keep straight.
Do what?
Principle.
Okay.
That's my issue.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Would y'all want to make a motion to ratify the tax rate? I make a motion that Scurry County ratify the property tax rate as shown in the proposed budget. Need a record vote.
I'll second. All in favor? All opposed?
Judge, I make a motion to adopt the 2023 Scurry County budget as presented.
I'll second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion to approve, oh, go ahead, sorry.
Judge, I make a motion to approve the order adopting the debt INS tax rate at 0.30325.
I'll second. All in favor? All opposed?
Judge, I make a motion to approve the order adopting the maintenance and operations M&O tax rate at 0.4475, equaling a total rate of 0.48 for fiscal year 23, tax year 2022, and levy the taxes. This tax rate will raise more taxes for maintenance and operations than last year's tax rate. The tax rate will effectively be raised by 27.894% and will raise taxes for maintenance and operations on a $100,000 home by approximately $86.50.
I'll second. All in favor? Like I said, that is not accurate.
The key word is effectively.
I'm sorry, all opposed. Sorry, I forgot about that. Forgot. Okay, that's done. Court to discuss and consider interlocal agreement with Nolan County for housing of Nolan County inmates in Scurry County Jail. Trey, do you want to address this real quick?
It's looking right now to be temporary housing. They're doing some maintenance in there, so they need some beds. I don't think it'll be long-term. He said it could be, sure. Warren said it could be long-term a little down the road, but for now it's just gonna be temporary, which is fine, but we need a contract in place. We don't have one with them.
Okay. Same agreement that we have with other counties.
Motion, we go to keep the person.
Second. All in favor? All right, thank you. Court to discuss and consider interlocal agreement with the Borden County Independent School District for use of the Scurry County Golf Course. I'll address this. We got a call from the superintendent in Borden County last week. They have a golf team. They would love to start using our golf course. I sent her the agreement that we have with Snyder ISD, and she agreed with it and requested that we put it on the agenda to discuss. And they would pay $3,500 a year.
I'll make a motion, we let Borden County use the golf course.
Second. All in favor?
Dan, let's go back over some of the typing errors.
Those are gonna be mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll fix those. I appreciate it. I saw one. I didn't see that one. Court to consider certification of additional revenues in the form of supplement payment from TAC for MVD supplement claim on multiple buildings due to hail damage.
This was a final payment. We finally got all of the roofs fixed from the hail damage, and I submitted a supplemental insurance claim. It was $725,054.67.
Make a motion to certify the additional revenues from tax for hail damage.
Second. All in favor? All right, court to consider approval of line item transfers and budget amendments.
Okay. There are a few. The first one is county clerk's office, $100 into maintenance repair miscellaneous out of maintenance agreement to clear up a budget line. Second one is the court reporter's office supplies, $266 out of education and other equipment. He had to purchase a machine for his court reporter stuff. And the next one is Parks Department, contract labor, 2,000 out of operating expense to install a 9,000-pound two-post lift in the barn. And then there's precinct 1 in other equipment, $1,000 out of road material. There wasn't enough in the line, and he just had to cover that line. Then there is the golf course, and this is $41,627.34 into cost of irrigation lines out of capital expenditures lines to reconcile the accounts and cover the amount of the irrigation. The final line item transfer is EMS, vehicle expense 9,000, 6,000 out of travel, 3,000 out of maintenance agreements to cover the cost of the vehicle maintenance costs. That's all the line item transfers.
Okay.
There are 3 budget amendments. The first one is the one that I certified the revenue for, the $725,054.67 going into non-departmental roof repairs. The next one is EMS, vehicle expense, $5,000 coming out of Texas class to cover the difference of Medic Sport engine costs that the grant didn't cover, and he's just going to cover that from there. And the last one is the Parks Department. And these are funds that were remaining in the Texas Park and Wildlife Grant from 2008 that we were able to release to be used in the parks for capital equipment to help repair the disrepair some of the equipment and stuff like that. $69,849.74. And that was from a grant that was said we received back in, I think we received it in 2005 or 2006, but it hasn't been used since 2008.
Been sitting there for a little while.
There's a motion to approve the line item transfers, budget amendments as presented.
Second. All in favor? Okay. Court to consider approval of accounts payable.
Accounts payable is $1,801,110.81.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second. All in favor? All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate everybody coming in and being part of the process.
Thank you.
Glad y'all came.
Sure.
She's doing good.
I started to go by there, but I was
You need
busy
to-
mowing and
I
weeding
say
and mother.
she's doing good. She's,
Well,
she's
mother,
going down here.
mother can't hardly get around. Excuse me.
She can't remember nothing anymore. She
Well,
can't,
Mother asked about her and I was out here weed eating, mowing, me and Kirby.
yeah.
Thank you. Good, good. Good. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I did 2 of them.
Oh, you did?
I've got one for you.
No,
No, that's been, one was the Gordon County Independent, and one was the sheriff.
Okay, see you soon. All right,
So you only gave me
we
that.
good.
All right.
Give me both.
Gotcha. And I need to fix the board. Still say SISD.
Oh, okay.
Charge them too.
Yeah.
We do. Charge them double? Yeah. It's okay, you said that.
Yes. I was gonna keep one original and then I'll give you another.
Doug and Sean have to sign that.
Let me see that one, I need to put the date on it.
That or I just need a copy, I don't have to, as long as I have a copy.
Because I'll send both the originals back to Nolan County for those.
Oh, yeah, once you get them signed, yeah, once you get them signed back, then just shoot me a copy
Yes,
of
ma'am.
the sign.
I will do that.
'Cause, yeah, I'd rather have a full-time one
We can
than.
do that team next year.
All right, so this is both copies?
Yes. That's both resolutions, I believe, in both there, so just, once they're signed by everybody over there, just shoot me, email me a copy.
Ari James, and hopefully Sam Neal at some point.
Know that Vulcan does do a lot better.
Thank you.